All right, guys, so we are now into our finale segment. And our finale segment is about Trey Songz and Meek Mill. So, as you guys know, Trey Songz has been on this whole journey of trying to refine things and really bring light to things as far as the whole Black Lives Matter movement and really ousting racism and the people that are racist. If you guys are not aware of this, I would suggest that you guys go follow his page so you can really keep up with everything, because he's practically like CNN over there now. And he's ousting all these racist people. And I feel like a lot of the blog pages are getting their information from him now. And then they're digging up more information and reposting it on their pages. So he's really doing a lot for his community, really bringing a lot more awareness. And yeah, I just really love what he's doing. So the reasoning behind Meek Mill being involved in this whole thing is because Trey Songz mentioned a lot of his friends that he wanted to be a part of this challenge that he, has started doing. And in this challenge, it's called the Feed Your City Challenge, where they pretty much provide for people within that community and they give them the essentials and food and everything else. So then that way they can have a little bit more than what they didn't have at first. Because as you guys know, we are in a whole pandemic and the coronavirus does still exist. So, we just have to be fully aware and understanding that, there are some celebrities that truly want to help us out. So Trey Songz is out there helping in his community. So he was tagging artists and, creators and things like that. So they can be on the same bandwagon and on the same page, and they can do the same as well. Some of the people that he challenged was DJ Mustard, Fabulous, and Trouble Six. He also, mentioned Meek Mill as well. Now, Meek Mill didn't really like this too much because he felt like this was Trey Songz putting some sort of heat on him. So I have a couple of messages or a couple of tweets and stuff explaining how Meek Mill felt and how this whole little spat came about. So it starts when Meek Mill either tweets or comments and says, "Me and Trey bros, that little," and then he gives one of those little faces. "Threw me off though." So then from here, Trey Songz sits there and responds to him. He says, "So Meek Mill apparently felt a way about me challenging him to the Feed Your City challenge. He felt the need to tell me what he's already done, hopefully not realizing I tapped on him because of how much I know he's already doing for his community. That's great you donated, fam. That's great you help in prison reform. That's great you gave your Phantom. I'm simply trying to bring us together to further help our communities. You offended? LOL. You got it." So then, from here, there was a person that responded to what Trey Songz had posted, and they said, "Okay, so get on his level or keep doing you. But don't try to make it seem like he hasn't done anything by calling him out publicly. Call out your other homies who don't publicly help their communities, or the ones that don't even help their own communities. Calling out someone who's doing more than you for their own makes you look like you just trying to pick and choose. Pick and choose the ones that aren't doing shit." And then Trey Songz sits there and responds and says, "I challenged many people to do the same thing, love." So from here, Meek Mill starts responding again, and Trey Songz actually screenshots this and posts it on his page. He says, "200K to Philadelphia schools, My Phantom for less fortunate, $400K, and helped raise $50 million for reform. Trey Songz, don't try me like that. So then Trey Songz responds and says, what, you feel attacked? I know what you doing for your community. That's why I challenged you. I'm at everybody to do they part and more. You included. I'ma try whoever about what I'm on right now. Feel how you feel. So I want to go ahead and talk about everything. But I also do want to mention this as well too. So, I went on the Shade Room and they pretty much said that they pretty much took a screenshot of what Meek Mill had on his page, and he says, ain't no such thing as being real with people that's trying to use you. And then the way that it all started was Trey Songz says, take some of them bands and accept the Feed Your City challenge. And that's when Meek felt a little attacked. Because, for one, he's sitting here with the bandana over his face and counting his money, but he's not spreading that money out, But nonetheless, Fabulous, he accepted the challenge. Trouble 6 accepted the challenge. DJ Mustard accepted the challenge. I believe Dave East accepted the challenge. So there were tons of people that weren't offended by what Trey Songz said. It was really just, Meek Mill. Now, as we know, Meek Mill is very, very sensitive. He's been very sensitive since him getting out of prison or jail or wherever he was at. So we just know that he's very sensitive. And I feel like even with the baby being born, even though he didn't push the baby out himself, it's made him even more sensitive. So on top of him getting out of prison or jail or wherever he was locked up at and having a baby, which he didn't even really push out, it's just made him very emotional. So, because honestly, it was just a simple gesture that Trey Songz was telling him. He was pretty much saying, hey, help donate. We're doing this whole challenge, the Feed Your City. Come on, feed your city. Now, Meek Mill proclaims that he has donated, $2 million to his city. And I guess he feels like, even though I'm consistently making all this money, that's enough, $2 million is enough. Even though I've got probably, quadruple that in my account, probably over that in my account. But he's like, that is enough, Now, my whole thing is, Trey Songz said he pretty much included Meek Mill in this whole thing simply because he felt like he was going to accept the challenge because this is the kind of stuff that he is into. He was, trying to fix the whole prison reform and everything like that. And I would think that this very much coincides with what he was standing for. With the whole, treating black people unfairly. Especially with treating them unfairly within trials, treating them unfairly within their daily lives, and everything else. So I don't think Trey Songz really meant any harm by it when he said, hey, you stand up for these types of things. That's why I'm thinking, hey, you would be included in this. Now, I do understand that, Meek Mill's probably thinking to himself, don't tell me what I could do with my money. I completely 100% get that. But at the same time, Meek Mill includes himself in a lot of shit. So it's kind of like, for you to sit here and, include yourself in a lot of issues and a lot of things that are going on. Like, just last week, he was... Thank you for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed that podcast, please be sure to tune in every Monday through Friday on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, Pocketcasts, and Anchor for the rest of that podcast.